list, like a breakdown of all of the things. I have a bunch of links open. Like, I learned so much, by the way, just doing like research. Nice. Yeah, because there's like a bunch of I might not teach anymore, but the teacher in me will always look up like teaching guides. And so I looked up like if this book had a teaching guide, and it does. Well, someone made one. And I looked up the author as well, and I learned a bunch. And I didn't even realize this, but like Beyonce's like Lemonade has a ton of like Orisha references, like the makeup that she wears, that she's like literally
cuando se pone lo...
Yeah, like and then when she's in the yellow dress too, she's like...
That's funny that you say that, because like I was reading reviews on Goodreads, and there were like a lot of Nigerian people on there that were like upset because they said that things in this book did not accurately represent Nigerian culture and like how like things really were and like blah blah blah. So like I don't know what to think. Like I'm just taking it as like a fun book. I know it's like supposed to kind of be based on real-ish things, but it's also supposed to be like fantasy. So like,
I don't just say, I'm like, I'm here, so
it's magic. Okay, we'll get to it because I just watched like a Good Morning America interview that the author did, and so
cool.
Literally said that it's like Black Panther with magic, and that it's like it is West African like inspired, but that it's not supposed to be like all the places have like the names of real places, but it's not supposed to be the same place. And then people were like catching a fit because no, she's never been to Nigeria, so like how dare she? And I'm like, wow, guys. So but she is of Nigerian descent, so I don't get, it's like it felt like gatekeeping to me. I don't know.
Yeah
It felt weird. Anyway, hello internet, sorry we walked in on us. What's up? We're only lovers left in the library. We're still a subgroup, Vaginal Fantasy. They don't do hangouts anymore. We do.
Because we need it.
We read romance in genre, except this month we didn't. Although this book had a romance that surprised me. And so we read once a month. We get together. This month was twice a month because we were catching up. And we read Children of Blood and Bone. And for some reason, two of us have like a physical copy of the book. Andrea doesn't have hers because she read it like weeks ago, but I think she also got it.
But also because when I went to get it from the library, there were like 20 million holds on it. I'm still convinced that there's like a local book club here reading it or something, because I get holds from the library all the time, and even like really popular, newly released books never have that many holds. So I don't know, but
this book is popping.
Yeah, I had to read it. I had to read it digitally.
Well,
like I said, I had to request it from 3 different libraries and like wait to see which one would have it.
The author got like a 7-figure deal to make a movie out of these books about her trilogy. It's like a record-breaking...
Wait, but she already got the movie deal and she hasn't even written the other books?
I don't know if she hasn't written them. I
think
the
other one ya está pendiente para salir. The other one's Children of...
Yeah, but it's not till next year.
Virtue.
Cool. Goals right there.
Super gold.
For real.
I just put out 1 book and I already have a movie deal for the whole series. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's more impressive than the 15-year-old who made the movie that's like super popular on Netflix now. The Kissing Booth, I saw it last night. I had thoughts. All around, not a bad movie, but still.
Wait, what? A 15-year-old?
Talk about it. What is that? I don't know what that is.
Oh my God. Guys, you need to internet more. Okay, so a few years ago,
are you watching the Cobra Kai YouTube?
No.
Well, then you need to internet.
So,
okay.
A couple of years ago, this 15-year-old published this story called The Kissing Booth on this online writing platform, like fanfiction.net, but like new. And it blew up. It had something like 20 million reads. So then she got a book deal out of it from like an actual publishing company. They published the book as a real book. It became a bestseller.
Wait, she turned the short story into a book?
She wrote like a book.
Oh, okay. It was,
and then the book got pulled from the website, published as an actual paperback, became a like bestseller thing, like sold really well. And then as part of publishing that, she had a 3-book deal. And then now at 22, she has her 3-book deal, and they turned her book into a movie that's like blowing up on Netflix right now called The Kissing Booth.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
Kris, what are you doing after Only Lovers?
No, it's like it's
emotionally.
It's cute. I was watching it and I'm like, Hilary Duff could have played this when I was younger. I see what's going on here. And it's funny because the two leads in the movie are like dating in real life. So they met on the set and then ended up.
Oh my gosh, wait, I love that shit.
So we have to watch this immediately.
The guy is like 6'3". She's like 5'4". She's 18. He's 20. He looks like he's 30. It's and the girl who is in the movie played the little girl in the Ramona and Beezus movie with Selena Gomez.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it tonight. You convinced me.
Yeah. Okay, so 3 cheers to people getting like amazing deals and making amazing content. Cheers to Tomi.
Go, ladies.
Okay, let's read what this book is about, and then we'll talk about it. If you're here and you don't want spoilers, get out. Okay, here we go.
Run, motherfucker.
All right. I wrote down how to pronounce this. Zaylee Adebo. I don't know. I didn't hear how to do the next.
Whoops, I was saying Zelia. My bad.
Yeah, me too.
It's Zaylee. Some people say Zeely, but I'm gonna go with how the author pronounced it.
Zaylee Adebola.
Yeah. Remembers when the soil of Orisha hummed with magic. Burners ignited flames, tiders beckoned waves, and Zaylee's Reaper mother summoned forth souls. But everything changed once magic disappeared. Under the order of a ruthless king, the Magi were targeted and killed, leaving Zaylee without a mother and her people without hope. Now Zaylee has one chance to bring back magic and strike against the monarchy. With the help of a rogue princess, Zaylee must outwit and outrun the crown prince, who is hell-bent on eradicating magic for good. We'll talk about it. Danger lurks in Orisha, where the snow leopards prowl and vengeful spirits wait in the waters. The greatest threat may be Zaylee herself as she struggles to control her powers and her growing feelings for an enemy. Children of Blood and Bone. Okay, cool. So, I have a. You hear an echo? Is that just me?
No.
Okay. Do you wanna? You just finished this book today. Why don't you go first?
Oh, go in order of what we finished first.
Well, okay, got it. So, never mind. Andrea, you go first. Did you like this book? I know that we all gave it like a super high rating on Goodreads.
Yeah, I think I gave it 4 stars.
I gave it 4 stars and I changed it to 5 stars. We'll talk about it also.
I really liked the book. It took me a little while to get into it. Like I didn't read it super fast, and I think that was kind of a trend among all of us. Like we all kind of took our time with it a little bit. But I liked some of the characters, and some of the other characters annoyed me, and I think that's why I didn't give it 5 stars. Like I really liked the story, and I liked the whole like plot thing. I just didn't personally love all the characters. But I thought it was really cool. I always love books where people have different kinds of magical abilities. And I love shit like, what magical ability would you be? We all took the quiz earlier today.
Hey, let's talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, I would be a connector.
That's Enon's power, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I purposely did not mention that on the group chat. Because
no judge.
I don't want to be that. That's the lead, the male lead. For those of you, that's the enemy referred to in the in the book blurb. No, I liked it. I would definitely read the sequel. I think I might like the sequel more because I think it's going to be a little more action packed, and we already knew the entire world and everything. So I think the pace will be like a lot quicker. It's just going to like dive right in. So I'm looking forward to the sequel, and yeah, I mean, I liked it. I don't really have anything super negative to say other than I just didn't like some of the characters.
Okay, so it's just like, we can get into the characters later.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay. I guess I'll go next because I read it second. I finished it very quick. Like same as Andrea. I like started it. I got about halfway, and then I had to take a break because I got really busy at work, and then I just like finished it all in one sitting, and then I was like, wow, okay, I really like that. So I really enjoyed it too. I gave it 4 stars, more like 4.5 stars at first, because okay, so like I don't know if you noticed, but it's a thick with 2 C's book, and it doesn't read as a super long book. It's very fast paced, but I also found that to be like a detriment of the book. The characters, I loved all of the characters except for Inon, because like I don't even know who would like that guy, but maybe a Zuko fan would like love that, but not me. We'll get to it. When I was listening to the author talk about her book, she was saying that she wanted to create kind of like a Lord of the Rings, but inspired by like West African culture, and I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. But I felt that sometimes like the chapters are really short, and sometimes the things happen so quickly that I didn't really get a sense of what I guess Orisha was like. I got a real good sense of what the characters were going through, but I felt like I couldn't really picture where we were. It didn't feel like a real place to me. Because if we're going to talk about Lord of the Rings, and I've like read Lord of the Rings, Silmarillion, all of that shit, and it just, Middle Earth feels like a place that I could potentially visit, you know? But for some reason, this didn't feel like that at all. And I felt like had maybe the author taken some time to slow down what was happening, a lot of shit happened. But maybe if we slowed down a little bit and didn't rush certain aspects, romance, then we could have explored what this place was like. Because, you know, once it starts, it just continues. We need to go to this place, get a thing, fight with this. Oh, it's a misunderstanding. No, we got to keep going. We got to do the next thing. There's an arena. There's a naval battle. Let's keep going. Avatar is back. And so it was just a lot. And I felt like, but even so, I felt like what I got it right so great that I was like, fuck it. I changed it to it. I just was like, I'm fine with giving it 5 stars.
No, that's interesting with what you were saying, because I feel like maybe I didn't notice that as much because obviously it's not the same, but you know how in the Caribbean we have, you know, Santeria and all these religions that also have, well, I've always said it Orishas, but obviously that's not the, but anyway, I dated like a priest of that, and he used to talk about that kind of stuff all the time and all the different gods and goddesses. And so that's funny that you said, because like now I'm thinking and I'm like, would I have wanted more if maybe I didn't have, I don't know, background knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, their religion wasn't outlawed, like magic was outlawed. So yeah. I just didn't get a sense of these people aside from like their massive suffering, which is valid, but it wasn't like, I felt like it wasn't a complete picture, and maybe that will be explored later on. But in this one, I felt like that was one of the bigger flaws of the book. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. I don't agree with people when they're like, oh, the romance was the worst part of this book, because I feel like obviously I'm in a romance book club, and so I'm biased and I don't agree. But I do feel like maybe it could have been handled a little better. Like I wish it had been more of a slow burn, you know. Their characters had a lot of stuff to work out, and I feel like they jumped into that really quickly, although it does pay off in like that betrayal that everyone saw coming. So yeah, I enjoyed it. The end, I was like, oh snap. Like I remember I closed the book and was like, and also read the author's note, and the author's note was like,
do you remember when I was like reading it and like leading up to it, I was like, oh guys, I think there's gonna be a sequel. Barf, I hate this. And then I was like, oh my god, we need to read the sequel.
Yeah. Also, so I took the quiz, and I'm a part of the Seer clan. So I am the Magi of Time, wise, philosophical, and serious. You have the power to see into the past, present, and future. I'm okay with it.
Did we have a seer in the book? Was that the guy who performed the ritual?
It was the teacher.
The very first.
Yes.
In the beginning, the lady teacher.
Okay.
Yeah. I also didn't understand the distinction between a diviner and a magi. Like a diviner is someone who had magic but doesn't have it anymore, has the white hair.
A diviner is someone who has the potential to be a magi.
Yeah. And then a magi is like someone who's has magic.
No, but it's true. Like in this book, they make so because like you activate your magic at a certain age. So some people had magic and then got taken it away, aka like all the adults who, I mean, most of them died. And then you have the little kids who have the potential, but just were never able to like activate it because magic was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have muggles.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it.
I didn't. Sorry, Tashay, really fast before your turn. Speaking of things that you want to describe more. I'm sorry. This is because I'm on my second cider, so that's why I'm like talking so much. They're like steeds. They're like leponaires or panthanaires or lionaires or whatever. All those shit. Like, I didn't understand. Like, it took me. I don't get it. I couldn't picture them. Like, were they just like super fucking huge versions of these animals?
Yes, and also like with horns. Like, there were fantasy versions of like African creatures.
It took me like thanks to Shy. So like some of them were like evil and then some of them were good. You know what I mean? Like all the bad guys had the same kind of animal.
Right.
Oh, I think it's like how the Slytherins claimed all the snakes. I think that all of the king people were like, so no one else is allowed to use the white lippers from now on, okay? Those are mine.
Rhino, what were they called? Rhinomes?
I don't even know. I wanted to know more about these like animal warrior creatures.
They seemed really smart.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, your turn to Shy.
No worries. Tosh, what'd you think? You just finished this like hours ago.
Hey, internet. Last to start, last to finish.
Bronze.
Bronze. It's fine. Whatever.
Pedestal. Still on the pedestal with us. Whatever.
I was doing stuff.
We just flipped it, right? Weren't you the first to finish last time and I was the last?
Yeah, the last.
It's just stuck in the place.
Veremos qué pasa with the next book. We'll see.
I'm okay.
Anyway, no, I really liked it. I do think there were a couple of things that could have been done a little differently, but all in all, I really enjoyed it. Once I got into it and actually sort of started getting a feeling for who each person was and started remembering who each person was, because for a while there I was like, who the fuck is this character? Mm-hmm. Based on the chapter has the name of the person, so it would change perspectives, and I'd be like, okay, this is the princess, cool, and this is the other girl, okay, cool, back to prince. Okay,
the brother, I could never remember who the brother
was.
Same.
I kept just like it had a T and a Z, so then I was just like tzatziki, which is the sauce, I think, but it's all I could think about when I read the name. So then I was like,
here's the thing. I was like, I kept thinking of tagine, and that's like a callback to like Andrea mentioning that tagine or whatever, or tagine. I don't know.
What did I say?
Remember, like, I mean, we don't have to talk, but like, it's like a reference to like a name that you've used, like tagine or something like that. I don't know how to say it, but that's how I was
used.
Yes.
For what?
For like a pseudonym for someone.
Oh, got it.
So I kept saying it like that at first, and then I heard other, and I was like, Zane, whatever.
Zane. Really?
The angry brother.
Zane left One Direction and joined this. Let's see how it is. What? You leave him alone. He's got a problem. It's fine. Anyway. But no, I really liked the book. Once I got into the flow of the story, I was really kind of interested to see where it was going to go. Didn't expect that there was going to be like pirate ships at some point. That kind of came out of nowhere. I was like,
I loved him.
Like, what? We were in the jungle. Where did this fucking... All right, fine. There's a pirate. Cool. He seems like he's hot. I'm down.
The minute that guy was like, well, I can kill them in like 5 minutes, but if you just want them injured, it'll take me 8. I was like, okay, I'll sleep with you.
Pirate. Jesus
Christ. But I liked his character a lot. I did, of course, think Inan was fucking stupid because I hate characters who are flip-floppy. I'm looking at you, Ron Weasley. Like, I just... Because it's like the entire fucking half of the book, he's like loyalty, and then he's like, oh, I've been changed. I learned the error of my ways. These people have been through so much suffering. And then the minute he sees someone using magic, he's just like, oh no, oh, they're a danger. They're a danger. Oh my God, it's so dangerous. I'm like, yo, bro, look at the massacres that have been happening, and your people don't have magic, and look at what they're doing. Like, you're either on the right side or on the wrong side, and like, you're on the wrong side, you dumb bitch. I'm so happy when everyone who died, except for like obviously.
We get a spoiler warning. You can talk about it. I want to talk about it with you guys, so don't.
Oh my God! I was like waiting for them to murder the fucking king. I was waiting. I'm like, I need someone.
I'm so glad it was her.
Yes, I'm like, someone needs to kill this asshole. And when she's like, I had such a I am no man moment from Lord of the Rings and like Brienne of Tarth in my heart. I was like, this is fucking yes.
Except for like the light-skinned brown girl, and I was here for it.
I love Amari. Amari can do no wrong in my book. She was my favorite character.
Because at the beginning, she's really just trying to be like, oh, fuck, I've been like abused by my family for so long, and this is really fucked up. I need to do something about this. Hear that, Anon? And then she finally comes into her own, and it's like, yes.
She's like the perfect example of like an actual like ally. Like, oh man, I've been doing these shitty things because I didn't know any better.
I know, it's allyship.
now I know better. So now I'm gonna try to make things right. And then she does, like a boss, and she doesn't turn back. She's like, my family's been doing it wrong. Like, I'm sorry, they're my family, but you're still wrong. Like, I love that about her.
As opposed to Inan, whose magic is oh, whoops, I scratched my dark moon. Inan, who has the magic of pure empathy, gets it wrong.
Feels nothing, doesn't understand. Is like, I feel so bad for you, but
I still think oppressing your people is the way to go. It's like is that. You're not.
I understand that my family has a certain privilege, and like other people have been suffering for years. But mira pendejo, get out of here! Get out of here! You're lucky you got laid in that dreamscape. Get the fuck out. No, but I was really happy. I loved the big cat.
Yeah,
the big Zelie.
No, Nalia is there the cat.
No, the main girl.
Oh, Zaylee.
I love Zaylee's cat, Nalia. I was like, big kitty. But like, faithful kitty who runs really fast.
The true MVP.
And like, once magic started happening, I was like, word, this is really cool. Because it seemed like a very organic magic. Like, yeah, you could learn incantations, but you could also just kind of go with your gut. And there was like an instinctive attack that you could have. Much like in Pokemon, you have your 3 skills at the beginning, and then as you evolve, you get more skills. I was like, yeah, girl, you whip those spirits around. You raise that army of the dead. Go ahead and turn those death spirits into spears and stab people. That's cool.
So cool. It's a cool.
And I love the blood part of it too. Like,
yeah.
Like, it made a lot of sense to me. Like, oh, of course, like spilling your own blood would make your magic stronger, but you know, to the point where it can also kill you. Like, it just seems so natural to me. Like, yeah, I love the magic part of the book.
Yeah, that was really cool. And
there's a class called the Blood Hunter that allows you to do that very same thing.
Oh, nice. I'm also very excited to see what other powers are expressed in the next book. Like, we got to see a couple of different magic examples in this one, but I'm very excited to see kind of like what other people can do. Oh, and the woman who had like the illness power, like I'm really glad we got to see a cancer.
That's cool. Like that not all magic was like, but
not all of it was good. Not all of it was very like innocuous.
I have a list here of all of the clans if you want to
read it for the ones in the back.
Okay, so there's a Reapers that can access and manipulate the spirits of the living and the dead. Connectors that tap into the mind, consciousness, and the dreams of others. Tiders. Yeah?
I said that's me.
Yeah. Tiders that manipulate water and ice. Burners that generate and manipulate fire. Winders. Winders better. That manipulate air and wind. That's the one that Tashay got in the
Which
quiz.
I was like, is it because I'm a Libra?
It's because he wanted to be a burner. That's why it's fine. We're fine.
I want to be a Reaper.
Oh. Whoops, sorry.
My own volleyball team of the dead. Come on.
They manipulate the earth. Welders that manipulate and bend metals. I don't know if we even got to see one of those.
Yeah, the guy at the end who like melted the door open.
Oh, okay. Lighters that manipulate light and darkness. Healers that heal a wide variety of ailments and injuries. Cancers that infect the living with a wide variety of sicknesses and diseases, aka birthday. Seers that see into the past, present, and future, and tamers that control and transform animals. Super cool. I thought the magic was awesome. And I also like that the magic did feel really organic. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. The magic came from their religion. It didn't like have
any. And that's why like I don't want to give like a million spoilers, but like that's why I really like the ending of the book when, you know, she has to kind of figure out her own way of connecting with the gods, and she does it in that like totally different from how it's been done before, but also like super organic, super natural, super. I don't know. I liked it. The magic in this book felt very like grounded, very like people were just like really in tune with the earth and like what was around them. Like I really liked that.
Yeah, and like people. I mean, when the author talks about the book, she talks about how she was inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I can see those references in the book, but honestly, she takes it and does her own thing with it. And I thought that was cool too, that it was not like a ripoff of it. I mean, it wasn't, it was its own special kind of reworking of everyone has like a group of people that does the same things. But even within these people, you know, everyone has like their own kind of flavor to their magic. So like, not every Reaper does the same thing. Not every Winder does it the same way. And that was pretty freaking cool. And I really liked that. I felt like out of all of the things that were world building, the magic system was the most defined. I wish that everything else had been like very defined, but it's okay. I'll take it. I'll take the, maybe I'll give it the next book. It's cool.
If she said that she wanted to build kind of a Lord of the Rings type world, the pacing of it is, it's faster than in Lord of the Rings, but it felt, you know, kind of. Like, I could see the worlds happening in the background. It would have been nice to have a little more detail, but then this book would have been a lot longer.
Well, like, I don't like to, I mean, I look at...
Also, it got hella dark outside.
Yeah. It's 8 something.
9.
Okay. Anyway, well, it's only gonna be 10 minutes. Okay, but I read a book like, let's see, what can I compare this to? Like Legos or Akata Witch or Akata Warrior. And that place feels, I mean, it is a real place and the author is from there. So I guess I don't know.
Well, I think with the Akata books, it was more like magical realism, whereas this is more just
magic.
Fantasy. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like the other one was like regular school kids who happen to have like powers, whereas this is like this whole like country where like magic people are oppressed and non-magic people are in power. And I don't know, it just seemed.
So let's talk about the major conflict, which is that all of the magic people were like, there was the capital R raid, and that marked the end of magic in Orisha. And I liked how I was on board for like Zaylee's radical, we're gonna bring magic back and we're gonna overthrow the monarchy, and I was here for it. Like, let's kill everybody. I did appreciate that at one point she starts to doubt that as well. She says, you know, not everyone knows how to control their magic. What if we bring back magic and innocent people die? Like, maybe bringing back magic in this kind of like rebellious way isn't the answer that we need right now. And she was kind of like doubting what she was supposed to do or if she was able to do it. I like that.
And then they killed people, and she was like,
yeah.
But see, I liked it because
never mind.
She had those doubts, but at the same time, she was like, I still have to do it.
She didn't waver.
If I don't do it, then like we'll never ever have the chance. So I like that she thought about it and she was like, this could potentially cause wars, but We still have
doing it will definitely cause a genocide.
Yeah.
For sure. And I feel like the ending of the book, like I'm super interested in seeing what happens later because I don't know what I was expecting, but I didn't
see it coming. I actually didn't see it coming.
I like that the chapters are in first person point of view, but I also feel like it helps Enon get a cop out for the way that he is because we can be with him and see his process, although it was very fast. So I know that we don't like the flip-floppiness. Like we've talked about how we don't like him being flip-floppy. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about it. Like if you want to like get deeper into it. I did get it up to a certain point. Like I got that he had a lot of like confusion and self-hatred. And then he was trying to work it out. I don't agree that like this was the romance was the worst part of the book. Because I feel like even people that are traumatized can like have a romance, and sometimes you make the wrong choices when you're like in a desperate situation, like you fall into a relationship and then, or you fall into like a relationship that you shouldn't go into because there's other stuff going on and it feels like an escape. I feel like that was very real. I felt like that was, I don't know, maybe that was just me. What do you think?
I feel like he was not honest with her, like from the beginning. He was keeping things from her and like not being honest with her about how he truly felt. So I feel like she went into it with like certain expectations, and then he had his own like plans all along. And then I don't know, I knew he was gonna, like, we all knew he was gonna betray her because like we knew that he was still a dipshit, but she didn't know that. She thought that like together they were going to like fix everything, and I don't know.
That's what he tells her right before Casi Se Lo Mete, right? At that festival or whatever.
Yeah, but at that point it's like
I think he thought that he was going to be man enough to help her fix it, but he wasn't. And it was an example of really just who the real future leader was going to be in that family, because Amari was like, oh, she already had her love for Binta. Like she already loved someone who was an other and saw them as people and already had empathy for them. He had no such feelings until he like mind melded with Zaylee. And it wasn't until that one person, it's like when someone comes from like a racist background and then they happen to like someone who's a person of color. And it's like, oh, because I have feelings for this person, then I can probably change what I've felt my whole life. But it was very easy for him to flip back to whatever he was thinking before as soon as he was around his family. Like
he was hold on to like his legacy.
Like right? There was a legacy and there was an upbringing and there was like the way that he was raised, and it was just so easy for him to go back to that.
I think the problem is too that like because he was so abused by his dad and he never got to see his dad like caring about anything, the minute his dad showed any sort of vulnerability and was like, haha, but my poor wife who was killed by magic, he's like, what? My dad has feelings? This must be so terrible. This thing that caused him to actually feel. So I think like every time his dad like said something that made him like more human, then Anon went right back to, oh no, my dad is absolutely right.
Yeah, I can see exactly. I can literally see that moment where he's like, maybe we can have it both ways. And I felt, I mean, I didn't know if I didn't want to excuse him but I did feel like it was a really clever way of, hey, both sides are not completely right in this. Like both, you know, but still oppression is bad. You know, genocide is bad.
And I mean, if you think about it, Amari had unconditional love from someone, and Anon did not. He never had that. He never had anything. He just had abuse consistently and constantly. And Amari had the escape of going out from all the events and stuff, and then going with Binta and like having someone show her actual empathy and love. So, like, yeah. it would have been easier for her to transition from like one perspective, because she never had that initial perspective at all. Like she didn't share her dad's views or her family's perspective,
right?
Whereas that's all Anon knew.
And if her friend hadn't been murdered, you know, she would have just continued to like she
probably wouldn't have done anything actively, but she would. I don't think she would have been like, kill them all. I think she would have been like,
no. But I just mean like, because like that one love that she knew got taken away. That I think that's really when she was like, holy shit, my family is batshit crazy. What is this? Like, I need to help. You know, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know that moment would have come for her at all if
that hadn't happened.
Yeah, if she hadn't lost her one true friend, one true love at the hands of her father.
Yeah.
Because then even if like their dad had killed Amari in front of Anon, maybe he would have had a change of heart. Or if he had had a longer amount of time to actually really fall in love with Zaylee and see her, like he experienced her pain, and that's what really connected him to her, but he never experienced the love that pushed her forward and pushed her to achieve things and really try to seek justice. He only sort of secondhand experienced everything. And that's like reading a book. You're not gonna empathize as strongly as you would if you went through it yourself. There was lots of layers to this book, man.
Yeah.
For sure. There was a part I think he almost admits it at one point that he can't understand. He can feel it, but he's never going to understand the loss that she has experienced. And I was like, whoa, this chapter is all about this, all about his privilege, all about, he's like, I get it, I feel
privilege.
And she's like, you can't possibly know what it's been like for me. And he says, yeah,
but you can respect it.
For sure.
And let me do what I need to do. And he's like, but isn't this better, maybe?
Ruins everything. Okay, let's talk about the M word.
Huh?
The M word in the book, they call people with magic
maggots.
And
I
was not comfortable. Even reading it. What is it with like double G's? Wow. I'm like, I don't even know. But I read it and I was like, oh no. It's like this other book that I've read, from the N.K. Jemisin, the 5th season, the Broken Earth trilogy. The slur that they use to refer to the people who can earthbend is raga. And I freaking hated having to hear it or read it. And it was just too much. It was just too much. It's like, I think it's a reference to rocks, but still, it was
too close to home.
Too close to home when they carve it on her.
That was really intense.
I wanted to die. I was like, I don't want to read this. I'm done. We're good. But
I think up until then, I was kind of hoping that Anon would like, I don't know, do something. But like at the point that he let that happen, I was like, okay, I don't care if you get your balls cut off and dangled over a cliff. Like, I'm done.
No, I gave up on him at that point. I was like, yeah, there's like, no
officially, we're done. I don't care. Like, I hope you guys never see each other again. Like, because how do you, like, I understand in his head what he was trying to do, but like, at the point where you let your girlfriend get like
love interest
branded,
anything branded onto her skin, like what?
Yeah, but it was like the worst thing you could call her. It wasn't like they were like putting bitch.
No, I know, but even if it had been bitch, like at the point where you like, I'm sorry, no, we're done.
That's what pushed me over the edge, because I still can't forgive him for like the first things that he does, which is like burns down their fucking village. He basically destroys where they live. It's like the place that she loves.
Yeah, but at that point he doesn't see them as human beings. So like I can look past that because he wasn't at that point like of enlightenment. But at the point where she has all that stuff happen to him, like he definitely sees her as a human. He has feelings for her. He cares for her. He wants her to be his partner, and he still lets his dad do all that shit to her.
Yeah, I was like, we're done here. Any little bit. Wow, I hit my computer. Any little bit of like empathy that I might have had for him out the window. When he is like stabbed at the end, I was like, good. I hope he's dead. He's not. He's gonna come back. This is gonna be like really weird. But I was like,
stab him again.
Or because he was, and even so, the author, she's so clever because I went on this journey with him, this first person journey. I feel like I really understood him and I got why he was so confused, but I still can't forgive him. I still can't. I can't.
It's the same thing as like, you know, you can be a perfectly decent person in a lot of ways, but if you allow injustice or you allow abuses to happen around you, you're just as bad as the people who participate.
Yeah. And that's why Amari is the real MVP.
For real.
Like, some people might be like, she's a crybaby or whatever. And I'm like, she grew.
Her world was upheaved.
Yeah.
That's a decent.
And she was scared, but she showed up. She never like stopped being there for Zaylee and Zane. And I really liked her. I didn't love her chapters at first. I didn't.
No, that's why I laughed like when I was reading the reviews because I read at least 2 or 3 reviews where like people gave it like 1 or 2 stars for, you know, whatever reasons, but all of those people still said like, I'm glad I met Amari, or like I still love Amari. Like even people who didn't like this book were like, she was the bomb.
Amari's the boss. That's why in my notes I still have like Zaylee, Amari greater than Zaylee, Anon. Like I was like, I don't need any of that in my life. I need like this amazing female friendship, bisexual fan fiction relationship.
Who are they gonna cast as Amari though? Because I'm tempted to say that Shuri could play Amari, but then you wouldn't get.
I think an Amari.
Too much.
I don't know. Maybe damn, like if Zendaya was shorter. Maybe her, because I think the royalty, right? There's a lot of this is supposed to be taking place in West Africa. I didn't picture anybody as a white person. I pictured maybe the pirate as like maybe someone who was Asian because he was
but only the magic people had like curly hair, right? Everybody
I still imagine them with dark complexions, but
yeah, but I'm just saying like, right, did I read that right? What was it? Only the magic people had the curly hair.
Her hair got like luminous once her magic came back. She was like, "Este pelo limp." Then her magic came back. She's like, "Oh, I can do braids again."
Yeah. And then whenever like her hair would get really curly, I would start singing Janelle Monáe, and I was singing in the car too. I put it on the description of the video where I was like, "Black girl magic, y'all can't stand it.
Y'all can't band it. Can't like a bandit."
Whenever like they would talk about her hair, I would be like so into it. I'm like, yes, embrace. I mean, she always embraced her roots, but then like physically, her hair was changing, and I was like, I see you. I see what you're doing. I feel seen here. But yeah, I think that the royalty, going back to like the cast, that the royalty has to be lighter skinned, like lighter skinned Black people, and then the Magi are supposed to be dark.
Well,
like,
they mentioned that, don't they mention that like towards the beginning of the book, like when Amari's sitting with her mom and like some visiting people at a table, and and her mom is talking about how she tries Amari out of the sun, and how Amari's like darker, but like he should use whatever skin products the other one uses. Like they definitely mention wanting
her being lighter. Yeah.
There was I was aside from the, you know, like, oh, the magic people are the oppressed or the other. When I read that, I was a little shook. I'm like, whoa, there's like colorism in this too. Like I was just I was making notes. Like I was really impressed. But
like now that you said Janelle Monáe, fuck it. Dreamcasting Tessa Thompson is Amari and Janelle Monáe is Zaylee. Fuck it. I don't care about ages. I don't care about heights. That is my dream.
Okay,
that is what I want.
Yeah, and then what's the guy? He's Jesse. He's got really light eyes. He's supposed to have amber eyes, but I don't remember his name.
Oh, Jesse Metcalf. No,
Yeah,
not
who's
Jesse.
supposed to be.
Wait,
I don't know if that's
who's the girl? I mean, who's the actress that plays Domino in Deathpool in the new Deathpool?
Oh, ZZ,
He was
Zazie Beats.
was cool as fuck and super badass in that movie, and she had a little streak of like in
You're
her.
right. You're right.
Oh, that's true.
And she had like the crazy curly hair. Like she was my.
Zazie Beats. That's her name.
I went to see that movie because everybody else I was.
Never mind. I retract my statement. Hey, girl.
But you need to look up a picture of her in Deathpool so you can see like
A little streak.
She looks magic in that movie.
I almost cosplayed. I almost went as her, but I was like too lazy.
Don't get too lazy. All you had to do was do a little diamond over one eye.
Yeah, I know, but then I didn't have like the top. I don't know. I just was like, oh, whatever.
Hey, girl. Hey. Hey, girl.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're saying she could be Amari?
Yes, Amari after they get all the they get the magic back because she like gets a little streak. Wow, that was so cool. She's like, I like gasped.
Yeah, that shit was cool.
I read the author's note and then I started to like cry. I was like, I'm feeling some. It was like confirmation, like I was reading everything correctly. I guess. I think.
Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey. Hey, girl. Hey.
That fight with the staff.
Oh yeah, that shit was baller. I love them.
If the Amari like Zaylee thing doesn't happen, then I'm okay with her being with that like Han Solo swashbuckling pirate, who I imagined as like Asian.
Wait, I did too. Why was that?
Well, she says he has like slanted eyes.
Yeah, and he, I just went with like I'm watching a lot of Into the Badlands, like. So I like pictured.
Wait, why does that sound familiar? Is that the one where like they have these like warring like
clippers and
yeah. I saw a few episodes.
Oh my god, I'm so committed. I'm watching it week by week. Like I'm waiting. Like, I watch the episode.
Wow.
I love it so much.
And, you should talk to our mutual friend.
Absolutely. What? I didn't know that.
That's who I watched a few episodes with.
No, I'm deep into season 3, and we will be watching it in the summer.
Okay.
Without fail. So.
But maybe not when the kids are around.
No, I mean, fine.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Into the Badlands. That super cool.
Oh, the one that you were telling me about the other day that I had started watching and then completely forgot about.
Love that show. Love it. Anyway, I've been like watching a lot of that. Very Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon mood, and so that's what I pictured. And I'm here for that.
Yes.
He was like up front. I'm sure he's got like a secret or something. Ugh. I don't want to. If anything bad happens, I mean, something bad will probably happen to him because I like him so much.
You know who he reminds me of? What was the name of those books that we hate read?
Jesse Williams, by the way. That's the name of
Jesse Williams.
That's his name. This is fucking Enon.
Just like with the clear eyes.
Oh, from Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, that punk.
Bitch. I mean, Jesse Williams is amazing and like super feminist and very like woke, but
I can see that. No, Chris,
role. He can do the
Chris,
role.
what were the books that we hate read?
Air Awakens.
Yeah, the guy that was like sexy, the Jax.
Ooh.
That's who the pirate reminded me of. I saw him as like that kind of character.
He like fits in like the archetype.
Yeah.
I was here for it. I was very happy when he showed up and that they got along and that he didn't do like he flirted with her, but it wasn't like I'm gonna corner you and kiss you type way. He was just like someone to talk to. I've been told that I'm a very good listener.
And then he was like, I could have braided your hair too.
Yeah. Love that guy. I loved it. I really appreciate it. Like he brought that character brought a lot of levity to what the fuck was happening. Serious ass shit was happening. Yeah, that was crazy. I wrote here, endless cycle of violence. I was like writing lyrics all over the notebook too, like Janelle Monáe, but also Hamilton lyrics. But yeah. Whew. Okay, well, I'm all tacked out. Internet, read Lord of the Rings, but also read Akata Witch and also The Hate You Give. And I feel like then this book kind of like smashes all of that together somehow. magically puts it all together.
I haven't read Lord of the Rings.
I haven't read Akata Witch or Warrior.
It's so good. Well, yeah, I forget which one comes first. Which comes first, and then comes Warrior.
Witch and then Warrior.
Yeah, they're good. I like the magic in those books too.
Yeah, really cool.
Because that one, what I love in that one is that like they promote like learning. It's like the more you learn about your magic, these like gold coins and shit fall from the sky.
Cheat team or something, they fall, and you can use that to buy stuff.
Yeah, so like you're rewarded by the magical universe every time you like.
Yeah, like when you level up, when you master something, like bronze and silver and gold pieces fall from the sky, and you can use those pieces to like buy stuff at the magical market.
It's great.
It's adorable. Those books are adorable. Like basically, Children of Blood and Bones is that, but like hardcore, like rated R. You know?
Also in that book, Tashay, there's this little like bee animal that like makes sculptures. Like like they basically if the little bee chooses you as like their like owner, then every day it'll make you a little sculpture out of whatever like lint and trash you leave lying around, and it just wants you to appreciate its art, and if you do, like they'll be faithful to you forever.
Yeah, it's like a little brownie almost, like it's a brownie fairy type thing.
It's so cute.
Except instead of honey, it just likes your trash.
Yeah.
I can just imagine Andrea with like 15 of those flying around her, and her being like, everywhere.
I would feel really guilty. That means I'm generating a ton of trash. All right. Any other thoughts? Any other thoughts? I feel like, this was a good read. Hey, let's talk about what we're going to read next. We can do this really quick too.
Oh, okay.
We gotta decide because
what are we doing?
We're kind of like in the middle. So the next month is
Songs of Achilles, or
I don't know if the alt is going to be that. But yeah, Song of Achilles is supposed to be the main. And we were talking about I have it in the back too. I'm not gonna go get it.
It's so good.
I don't know if I need to get it again.
Book, no matter what. All our followers read this book.
It's really good. I'm surprised you love it so much. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm just happy you liked it that much.
Should I just get it from the library already? Should I just have it?
Was like
we can reread. We could do Andrea and I can reread it, and then Tashay, you can read it, and we can just talk about it.
I've already read it. I'm okay rereading it. Remember, you sent it to me, and I read it on my phone.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I wanted to read. It's not that I don't want to read it, but I was looking forward to reading a female book because we've read a lot of male books.
So which one do you want to read?
So the next one that's here is like it says Fingersmith, but I've read that and Tashay has read that. So I just thought about reading. I don't know.
Gave you my copy.
No, I don't have a copy.
Really?
I gave you the copy of Affinity.
But I'm pretty sure.
Nope, I don't have it.
You sent me the digital copy of Affinity. I gave you the paperback version of Affinity.
Yes. Okay. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right.
I might have Fingersmith around here then.
Here's the thing. I've also read a ton of stuff that's on this list. Like Ascension is kind of like a polyamorous space book, which I really like. The Traitor Baru Cormorant, I read that. The only one that I haven't actually gone to read is The Tiger's Daughter, which sounds good. It says it's female, YA high fantasy. I don't know. We should read through it and then try to pick like a female one. I don't have anything against Songs of Achilles, but like I feel like we talk about it, we know we love it, and I feel like we already read so many male romances. I feel like we need to give the ladies their due. That's just how I feel.
Well, I'll read whatever you pick. So
I'm leaning towards The Tiger's Daughter, but we'll see. I'll send you I'll look through because I would be so down to rereading The Traitor Baru Cormorant because that shit was good. That was a good one. I'll just gay, hide your gay.
I'll just write the
mastermind.
I'll write the Amari Zayli book and we could just read that.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Like I'll read that fan fiction. We should do that. All right. So I guess that's it. I feel like I'm gonna think about this book and then have more to say later, but that's all I can think of right now. If you could pick like an animal, what would it be? What would be like your steed of choice?
I want a giant fox.
A fox air? Fox?
A foxinaire.
Wait, literally any animal?
Sure, any animal. Why not?
It's a bear.
A bear air?
A bear.
Listen, here's the thing. My favorite animals are horses and elephants, but I don't think either of them would be good in this kind of scenario. So yes, I would go with a bear because also I just read the book My Boyfriend is a Bear and I really want a bear now.
So you liked it?
You gotta read this book.
I loved it and I gave it 5 stars partly because I loved it and also partly for all the haters who were like, ew, the bear is literally a bear. It's not a metaphor.
What did you think you were reading? It's called My Boyfriend is a Bear.
Wait, but there's another book there's a lady who's actually having sex with a literal bear. But this one's cute?
Yeah, it's cute because he's like Groot. So he like doesn't talk, but she understands what he's saying. Like he just says, "Grah." And she like makes him extra big clothes that he can wear. And he like builds shelves for her cat because he knows how to use tools and stuff. But then he's also a bear. So he like breaks everything and he eats like 20,000 calories a day.
And she has sex with him.
I mean, yeah.
No, because here I'm thinking that I was just like, oh, is it like an aromantic type deal where
they have sex.
Okay.
And then he goes to hibernate for the winter and she's all sad.
God. Okay, I'm gonna read it. I need to read this.
It's so cute. And at one point there's like a page where she's like holding a box of tampons and she's like, I do admit sometimes we need to like sleep in different rooms, and the bear's like sniffing. She's like, bad bear.
Oh, whoa. You guys don't get enough love. I read this book, was it an Anne Rice book called Memnoch the Devil, where like Lestat goes into the underworld. He goes and visits Satan or some shit. They steal his eye, but when he comes back, there's a chick there that's on her period, and so like he drinks her period.
Yes.
And there are other people there. It's very, very bizarre, but I was like, okay. I mean, like, if you have to bite me, like, go for it. Have at it.
Honestly, like, what I was most into was, like, every picture of them, like, cuddling. Like, it just seemed like she was always so warm and comfy. Like, I want that. He would just curl around her, and it would...
No. Okay. Nice. It's time to get off. I'm here for a bear romance. I don't get me wrong. I'm here for it. I need to read it. I need to see it for myself. Okay, goodbye, internet. Thanks.
Goodbye, internet.
This long or 1 year. Who is that? Is that you, Andrew? Who is that? Okay. I don't know who that is. Anyway, thanks for having us on in the background. Have a good night. We'll see you next month with Super Gay Read. Bye.
Yay. Bye.